Welcome to the Your Business on Purpose podcast, the ultimate resource for women business owners looking to confidently navigate their entrepreneurial journey while upholding their principles. I'm Dawnette Palmore, your host and fellow entrepreneur. Join me as we immerse ourselves in illuminating conversations with accomplished experts spanning various fields across the business spectrum. Together, we'll unearth strategic insights into seizing opportunities and ensuring that your business is equipped with the essential elements aligned with your purpose and values. Welcome back to Your Business on Purpose podcast, the podcast where we help you build a business that not only makes you money, but actually supports your life. Today's episode I'm super excited about, and it's extra special because we are celebrating a major milestone, episode 200. I know, I can hardly believe it. And instead of me sitting here as the host or in the host seat like usual, we're actually flipping the script. I am being interviewed today, and I could not think of a more aligned, powerful woman to lead this conversation. Itika Milanes spent 25 years in front of the camera as a trusted TV news anchor and reporter, mastering the art of communication clearly, confidently, and under pressure. And now through her company, Milanes Media, she helps entrepreneurs, professionals, and thought leaders show up powerfully, whether that's on camera, on stage, or behind the mic. She's helped people refine their message, elevate their presence, and turn their ideas into communication that actually moves people and gets results. From public speaking to podcast presence to crafting presentations and pitch decks that attract real opportunities. She knows how to help you show up in a way that people listen. So today she's stepping in to interview me. We're going to be talking about the journey to 200 episodes, what I've learned about money, business growth, honestly, everything and whatever else she has planned because I don't know the questions. But I'm excited to hear and share with you. So this is a very different conversation than we're usually having, a little more personal and probably a lot more reflective. And I think you're going to love it. So grab whatever you have, pause, take a moment, and enjoy yourself. Itika, it's all yours.
Fantastic, Dawnette. I am truly honored. I know this is a milestone podcast for you. Number 200. Cue the confetti and the balloons. What an amazing milestone this is for you. I have to tell you, a lot of people start podcasts and after a few episodes, they completely stop because it is a lot of work. You have to invite guests. You have to call them. You have to coordinate. There's editing. There's content. I mean, there's a lot of work involved. So kudos to you. Congratulations. You have done an incredible job with this. So that being said, let's rewind to episode 0, like ground zero. What was it that made you say, I want to start a podcast? This is what I want to do. Tell me about that story.
Yes. So before there was an episode 0 of Your Business on Purpose podcast, I had co-hosted a podcast with another lady. We did, it went like once a month. So we did 12 episodes and it was so amazing. I had so much fun doing it, loved interviewing people, asking questions. And when that contract was over, I kind of stopped. And then I had a couple of gentlemen reach out to me on LinkedIn and they're like, hey, we're starting up our business. We would love to help you. And I was like, that's so cool because I was thinking like, how can I start a podcast? Like, what do I do? And to me, what was holding me back was I don't want to do the editing. I know nothing about it really. And I know that that's a lot of work and they were willing to do it. And we created this partnership and it was great. And so I was like, yes, let's do it.
Okay, so that led to your creation of this podcast. And what's unique about this one is that you focus on women. Why did you decide to have that niche?
So, well, we're unique as women.
Yes.
And not women, but being in business as women.
Right.
We walk through this world differently. Our experiences are different. And I thought, if we can have a podcast that's for women by women, we can relate to each other. We can say, oh, I struggle with that too. Oh, that's how you navigated that. And I share, I don't know how many episodes it was, but you guys got to go back and listen to it. You can't talk to men about your periods, okay?
Nope.
But we could talk to each other about it, and I learned so much from the people I bring on and how our periods have these cycles now. I had no idea. We had a 28-day cycle, but now every week is named something. And something unique goes with each one of those cycles and how we should be aware of that. And men just couldn't relate that, if that makes sense. And it's
Exactly.
not because I'm a
Yes.
man hater. You guys all know I'm not a man hater.
Right. No, it
But
has
we needed
nothing to do with that at
no,
all.
we had to have a
No.
safe space for us to talk about these things.
I love that. I love that. Okay. So money is also an important thing because this is something that this is not a gender thing. They don't teach us about how to handle money in school. It should be required, but it's not. And even as women, I think sometimes we may be a little intimidated about some issues around money. So what is it that you think is the most important message that all women should know about money and their finances?
Become financially independent, whether you are married or not, whether you've been married 1 year, 10 years, 50 years, have your own money.
Tell me why.
The reason I say that is because from childhood experience, but also from looking at other women and even my own experience, when we are not financially independent, we stay in relationships and places that are not always safe for us or safe for our children because we're dependent upon someone else. And watch that happen to my mother, me falling into the same thing, which I'm not anymore, and then watching it happen to other women. We have to have a financial independence. And it's not because we're ever going to leave. It's not because, we have to be able to stand on our own 2 feet in case something happens. There's been stories of men who have been married to women for 30 years and their children leave and these men leave. Once their children grow up, these men have planned for years to leave and these women are blindsided. I don't want to see that happen to any more women.
I love that you shared that story because it's a very private, intimate thing that happened to you and your mom. So thank you for sharing that. But it also speaks to your why. This happened to me and it was so profound. It was so hurtful that I feel that I need to share this message. So I sincerely appreciate that. And I had the same issues with my mom growing up. So I think it was just something as a child in my head. I didn't realize it until I was an adult, but it was just something that as a child, I knew I needed to be successful on my own and not depend on any man to help with that part of my life.
Yeah.
It was always just independence. So I feel that you have an incredible platform to share that message, and it is a powerful one, even for young girls to hear this message. I think it's important for them to hear it at a young age and to instill that thought that this is what I need to do. So learning from our mistakes, essentially.
Exactly.
And I think that's very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. We're supposed to learn from other people's mistakes, right? We're supposed to,
Yes.
and from other people's experiences. And we're supposed to also share those so that other people can learn and we can help people through and out of it.
Yeah, I love that. So it's been quite a journey for you. Tell me about some of the things that you've learned along the way because you're giving expert advice, but I would imagine that there's some learning moments for you on your way to episode 200. Tell me about some big aha moments that you've had learning about either money or about yourself.
Oof, what have I learned about myself? One, I think what I've learned about money, I'll start with that, is that everybody has a relationship with money. And we don't really think of that, but there is a relationship there. And it all started back when we were children. Something was ingrained into our subconscious. And when we stop and think about it, you'll figure it out. You say, okay, what did I see? What did I hear? What was going on? And we carry that into our adulthood and then it plays out in our life. And until we become aware of it, we're just going to keep playing the same broken record. And we have the opportunity to change it. We have not just the opportunity, but we have the power and the choice to change it. That's powerful
Yes, it
because
is.
thinking
Yeah.
about, I just thought we get a job, pay our bills and die. But that's not what life is about.
There's more to it.
There's so much more to it. But when we have these things there, we don't focus on that stuff. We're just like, okay, well, I'm just going to get into a ton of debt because that's what everybody does. I'm just going to buy this and that, and I'm just going to live this lifestyle, not really realizing the impact we're having on the generation around us and the people that are closest to us, but also our future. Whatever we're doing now affects our future self and the people that we love and care about. That is something that has really come into my awareness. Everybody has money trauma, and we have to pinpoint it so that we can fix it. And we all deal with it differently. Some of us, like you, I learned, oh, this is, you just get into that same relationship. You were like, no, I don't get into that relationship. I have to be independent. So, we also process things differently. And I think that's important too.
Okay. So let's get into behind the scenes, some stories, some interesting and fun stories. Is there a guest that just really shocked you, said some things you're like, what? Tell us some interesting stories. Spill the tea.
I actually had a guest answer a call during our interview. And thank God I pre-record, but we're interviewing.
Like the cell phone and said,
up her phone and answered it. And I was just like,
oh,
are you kidding?
God.
I'm just sitting there like, what is going on? Is this real? Did she just answer the phone?
That's crazy.
And I felt so invalid. Like I just felt like she didn't value the call. She didn't value my time or even
That's
the podcast,
disrespectful.
the platform. Yeah. And so I do tell people to turn their phones off and not to answer. And I haven't had that since, but I thought that was very odd.
It's not something that you would think you would have to tell a guest who's going to be recorded on a podcast, but okay. Yeah, interesting.
And thankfully we weren't live.
You know what? That actually would have been pretty funny because she would not have looked good. It would have reflected on her. Yeah, for sure.
And that's people don't think about those things because then also I'm thinking, how would I refer her business? Because is she going to pick up the phone in the middle of a client crisis? Like, are you going to put this person on hold for something else that comes up that maybe you feel is more important? You're not going to refer people business. Yeah. So I think that was one of my craziest things. I've had people show up on a cell phone, even though they know it's recorded, and you really can't see people. I've had 2 people show up to be recorded when I was always supposed to be interviewing one. You get some stuff happening. You think these people are professional, and sometimes they're not. Maybe they just don't understand the etiquette of podcasting because it can be a little more laid back, I think, in people's eyes than, oh, I'm going on the news. I need to make sure I'm
right.
But yeah, this is essentially kind of like a news station because we're bringing your content to people. So however you show up is how you're going to show up. So that's really up to you. So I don't take that personally, but I want the best for my guests. So if you're listening and you get a podcast interview, make sure that you show up professionally, that people can see you, that your screen is, that you're not looking down at your screen. Because when I've had people look, they have like their computer on their lap and they're looking down, and I was like, I feel like she's talking to, like she's this authority over me and I have to be careful. So you want to be looking people in the eye. You don't want distractions around you. You don't want noise around you. So anyways.
Yeah, it seems like it's basic, right? Things that are just common sense, but I guess not for everyone.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me something about Dawnette that your viewers, your listeners don't know.
What don't you know about me? Everybody knows that I'm a grandmother. I hope. I think that I've talked about being a grandmother.
How many grandchildren do you have?
So
for those who
I
don't know.
have a blended family of 7 children. 5 of the children are mine. 4 of them are here on the earth and 1 of them is in heaven. And so we have 4 grandchildren as well. Blended family is 4 grandchildren. I only get to see one on a regular basis, and we have a ton of fun together. He's going to be 9 years old this year. And it's so funny because I think I was so sad when my children moved out. I was very sad. I didn't know what to do. I was in shock. And it's not their fault. They grew up and moved out. That's what they're supposed to do. But my heart was not ready for that.
It never is.
No one ever prepared me for that. Right. I didn't know what I was going to feel. I didn't know anything. And I was just like, oh my God, I don't have anybody to go anywhere with. I go to the grocery store by myself, like everything I was doing by myself now. So I'm so happy that I have my grandson because I can live that out again through him.
Yeah. Does he ever listen to your podcast?
He does not listen to my podcast yet, but he has seen my YouTube. He loves YouTube. And so he's like, it's a Grammy YouTube. So that's my name is Grammy to him. And he was
That's what
just
I was just going to ask
excited.
you if he has a nickname for you. Okay,
He
so it's
was
Grammy.
Yeah, it's
Cute.
Grammy. So he was so excited to see that I had a YouTube channel. Does he care to watch it? No.
What about your children? Do they watch it?
Not that I'm aware of, but I have interviewed them on the previous podcast that I used to do. And I should actually bring them back because I have one child that's an entrepreneur and the other ones have, W-2 jobs. But, what have they learned about money as adults? Now that they're this many years out from it, I should bring them back.
That would be a fascinating interview to hear. Okay, what did you learn about money growing up? And has it changed? That would be really interesting. I love that idea.
Yeah.
That would be
I
fun.
did talk to them about that on the last time I interviewed them. But now that it's been so many years, now, they've matured, they've grown,
Sure.
they've
They're
all these
different people.
more experiences. So now where has that knowledge brought you? What have you learned that's different that maybe you didn't get taught?
I love that. So before we go any further, you said something, and I wanted to ask you, we develop relationships with money as a child. How would you recommend that we change it? How do we reverse, undo what we've done with money, how we relate to it? Tell me about that.
That is an amazing question. And I can tell you from experience because I was told we can't afford it. I've slept in cars, I've been in shelters. I've had what I needed. I never went hungry as far as I can remember and always had clothes on my back. But with that said, when I started having children and have my own money, I didn't know this, but I would just spend all my money on them. But it was because I didn't want to tell them the same thing. I didn't want them to go without what I went without with. If that's the
Yeah.
right
Oh, that's really
structure of that
interesting.
sentence.
Yeah.
And when I realized that, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing my children a disservice. And the first thing I had to do was get right with my money. You can't do things without, especially in front of children, without first leading by example, because our children, as we know,
They're sponges.
everything that we do, whether we do it in front of them or not, they can read atmospheres, energy, they can absorb it. So once I did that, they were learning with me. So when I made changes in my life, they made the changes in their life. So it was this, and it's funny because when I interviewed them, they don't really remember that. They just always remember this way that I taught them. So you guys can take the journey together. It doesn't have to be like, well, let me get right first and then I'll teach them because they're going to include them in that journey. Show them what that's like. Write down their spending plan. Where do they want to spend their money? If you're a business owner, you should be employing your children if they're under 18. I can talk about that in another episode, but it's a tax deduction. It teaches them many money principles. Plus, it teaches them that the way we get money is that we need to work for it. I taught a group of first graders, a third grader, and I asked them, where does money come from? And they said the ATM. And I was like, no, that is how our money comes from. So we need to teach our children where money comes from. It was
That
so
is
terrible.
awesome.
But you can go on this journey with your children. And I think we need to open these conversations because we have not talked about sex. We don't talk about money. We don't talk about religion. We don't talk about politics. And those are the things that are an absolute disaster.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it starts with awareness.
Absolutely.
And understanding, where you spend it, what's important to you, the priorities. Okay. Okay. Do you have a guest that stands out to you that is your favorite who you would have back on anytime?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. And I don't know the answer to that. There is many guests that I've had great conversations with that I would love to have back. And I need to reach out to them. In fact, this podcast is going to be inspiration to reach out to them because one time I was on a podcast and this lady's like, oh, it's going to be my 100th podcast. I just want to say thank you for being part of it. And I was like, that came to me. I was like, I need to thank the women who came on this podcast and
Oh,
made
how
it the success
lovely.
that it is and contributed to it. And maybe say, hey, I'd love to have you back.
So, that being said, what would you like to say to those women who have been part of your journey?
Thank you. Thank you. Because we can't know everything. And honestly, I don't want to know everything. Maybe I do sometimes, to be honest.
Especially with the husband.
Do want to know everything, but we can't. We possibly cannot know
Yeah.
everything. And they so graciously give their expertise. They tell their stories. Sometimes we get intimate. Sometimes we talk about things that are hard to talk about so that we could help other women. And I appreciate their contribution to that.
I love that. Why do you think it is still to this day so hard to have conversations about money? What is it about money that just makes it either taboo or uncomfortable? It's just something we don't really want to discuss, especially among couples who are about to get married. I would imagine that that's a big reason for divorce is they differ on their views of money. So why aren't we having more conversations about money?
That is a fabulous question. I wish I had the answer to that. But I think is because of the way that we were brought up. We're not brought up the same. Maybe we were taught you don't talk about money or you don't share that with them. I have clients right now. He needs to ask his wife for money to be able to make the bills meet, which is fine. That's the situation they're in. He has a hard time doing that. And he actually admitted it, but he has a hard time. So we have to realize like awareness of why we're having this issue. Why aren't we talking about this? Because you're right. I think divorces are probably almost 100% because of money. And maybe in the end, you're saying it's all this other stuff. But if you boil it down, where did it all start? Is it because you can't talk about money? Is it because you don't want to talk? Like you have to think about that. And we can solve this by talking about money. And that's what I love talking about this conversation because there really shouldn't be shame around money. We shouldn't have guilt around money. We're doing what we were taught to do. But that's not an excuse as an adult. We can learn to do something better. But again, we do have to become aware that there is a better. And that we're not maybe doing everything right, or maybe this issue is really about money. How do we come together with these different money traumas, different money stories, and come together, realizing that we both have these different stories, and then rewrite our own story together?
You said two words that I think are really powerful and I feel could be the topic for another podcast, just my opinion: shame and guilt. Those are very, very powerful. And again, it does stem from our experiences in childhood, but there is shame and guilt centered around money for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
So,
men and women.
Yes. I mean, you just said it. Your male client feels ashamed, feels embarrassed or guilty, whatever his emotion. He's uncomfortable talking to his wife, the woman he said, I do to, supposed to be your best friend. He's uncomfortable asking. So there again, it's that friction there.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're doing this podcast, I think is peeling, hopefully starting to peel away the layers of shame and guilt for your audience. So once again, yeah, thank you for shedding light on this issue.
But I want to say one other thing about that just came into my mind is if you are married, I would just encourage you guys to start talking about money because one of the number one reasons men commit suicide is because of money. And that just like breaks my heart because it's just money.
Shame.
And that is not a reason to lose your life. So please go talk to your husband, your partner, and get that conversation going because if you feel guilt and shame, and you guys are having some money struggles, you can only imagine what he's feeling.
It's a great message. Yeah. Did you ever think when you started this podcast that you would be here today, these years later, with number 200? Did you even have a number in mind of maybe how many you would do, when you would stop?
I didn't. I was just like, I'm going to do this till I just can't do it anymore. And I think I can't even really believe that I've recorded 200 episodes. It's been so fast. Somebody asked me, how long have you had a podcast? I was like, oh, I think it's been like a year. Oh, what episode are you on? I'm like, oh, one something. They're like, and how often do you drop an episode? I think you've been doing it like 3 years. I was like, oh.
It was by so quick.
Oh, I didn't realize it, but I have a great time. And I don't know if you could ever stop doing this podcast. There's so much, and especially there, not just in money, but in business. And things change as we evolve and grow and technology changes. So how could you stop? I don't know. What episode is Joe Rogan on? Maybe that's going to be my goal. Let's see if I can record more
That'll
episodes
be
than
your
Joe.
target. Okay. That's awesome. So interesting little fact, just 1% of podcasters ever even make it to 20 episodes.
Wow, 1%? Oh my gosh. And I thought there was so much noise out there.
There is.
There is noise, but there's
You've
stuff.
risen above. You have raised the bar, my friend.
Wow.
Typical creator stops around 2 to 3 episodes. Most podcasts never pass 10 episodes. Publishing 20 or more episodes puts you ahead of the average podcaster. One more. If you get to 50 episodes, you're among the very small minority. So you are in good company with the folks who have managed to cut through all of it. Amazing.
Wow.
What a feat.
Wow. What an honor, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Way to
Because there are
go.
some great podcasters out there that just bring so much value.
You're among the elite.
I don't even know what to say to that. I do want to say, women, if you feel like having a podcast, you need to have one because we need more women's voices out there in these different industries as well.
Yeah. And I think that the information and the content that you're providing is just so valuable. We are going into a new financial system, a new currency. So is that something that you see yourself delving into in the future?
That's a great question. I mean, money affects business. So we're going to have to talk about it. We're going to have to navigate around it. And if I don't know about it, let's bring in experts that do know more about it.
Okay. So you gave us a great bit of useful information for women when we first started about they should have their own money. When it comes to business, what would you think the most important piece of information or one of the most important pieces of information that you can share with women who are just getting started in business?
Find a coach. Find a coach, find somebody that can help walk you through things because there's so much to business. And I don't know the statistic off the top of my head, but a lot of small businesses don't make it past a few years. And I think if they had a coach and they had a system for their money, they would have made it a lot further. And who knows what they could have been had they had those things. We need somebody looking from the outside who's not emotionally attached to whatever it is we're facing or going through. Somebody who's had experience, not necessarily in the industry you're in, but in business. You don't want to get somebody who hasn't had any business experience because they're not going to know. I was talking with a lady earlier, and she's building this community of veterinarians. Because you can't go talk to your best friend about what happens at the office. They don't know because they're not a veterinarian, right? You need to go talk with other like-minded people who do something that you do that can understand the different struggles and have different ideas for you and solutions. Same thing with running a business. Get somebody to help you. If you can't afford it, there is so many programs that mentor women for free. I know SCORE is a huge one.
That's a good one.
They have lots of programs and webinars, and they even have mentors of people who have run very successful businesses to come alongside you and help you through whatever it is. And they have mentors that help with specific topics. So if you're struggling with this, you let them know, they find the mentor for that. And then when it changes, they give you another mentor. So look for resources to get the help so that you can just start off on the right foot. Not that it's not going to ever be a struggle because it doesn't matter how many people you have around you. There's ebbs and flows of business. Things happen.
Sure.
But at least you have somebody on your side to help you navigate through that.
And that's something that you also do. You provide that service. So tell me about some of the things that you do.
Oh, gosh. I help bring awareness, right? You can't change anything you're not aware of.
Exactly.
So where's your money going? Are there money leaks? Are there things you're paying for you don't know? And then what is the plan? And another big thing is, how much does it cost your business to run if you brought $0 in this month? Because our businesses cost something, even if we brought in nothing, so that we have a baseline.
Right. Okay, that's
overhead, good. Right? That's what the corporate word is. Overhead. What is your overhead? Can you cut the overhead? Do you need all the overhead? Do you need more overhead? There's so many things that we discuss and talk about. I have a client that I just signed on where I'm going to be going over his marketing analytics. Is the marketing working? How many leads are you getting from these different marketing aspects? So we're going to be looking at those things. He's got some stuff in his QuickBooks that categorized correctly. So we're going to take a look at those things and move some things around. We talk about what is a business write-off and what is not a business write-off. They are
All
planning.
of that is great information.
Yes. So sometimes our tax professionals don't have time, or they give us a very
Broad overview.
broad overview or outline. And, we talked about, well, you have to, if you spend time in this place, it has to be 50% of business. And he's like, well, can gambling be written off? And I was like, no. That would be a hard no. So just, strategizing with them so that they can have fun in their business and get the best tax deductions, grow their business, and their business is supposed to support them as well. So we're not there to support our business. Our business is there to support us and our dreams and our goals.
So, how would somebody get in touch with you should they want your services? Should they want to pick your brain?
Yes. Well, you can find me on all the social medias, or you can go to my website, which is www.yourmoneyonpurpose.com. I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook. I'm in all the places. And there is a link there for you to click and book a time with me. And I love to chat with you and find out what's going on, how I can help you. And the most important thing is, are we a good fit?
Yeah, that's important, right? You have to have that chemistry, or else it's just, yeah, that's a good point. Okay. And then, do you see yourself writing a book or doing a TED Talk? What's in your near future? What are some of your goals looking forward?
That's so funny.
You have a book in you.
I know. It has been, I actually wrote a book when I was a little girl. I have it somewhere. I need to find it. I wrote about my grandmother, who I absolutely loved and adored.
Oh, I love that.
I gotta find it. It's just, we used material. We did the book cover and I just wrote about my grandma.
Oh, how beautiful. I was close to mine as well.
I think I was like 8 or 10
Oh,
or
how
something.
beautiful.
I do have a book. It's been on my heart for a very long time. I actually have a couple of book ideas, and I wrote an ebook, which is a great
That's
start.
great.
Which you can
Yes.
do for absolutely free.
Yeah.
It's business finances.
Where do we find that?
You can go to my website, or you can go to my Instagram, and I don't know what the word is. I think it's ebook. And go there. You can message me, DM me. There's the correct word. On Instagram, ebook, and you'll get the link to sign up for that free ebook. So one of the books I want to get out soon is actually a book for my grandson. And we go on adventures. I make him a book every year at Christmas, and I call it The Adventures of Jason and Grammy.
Oh my gosh. I love that so much.
I'm just excited. I don't know. He just moves me to pieces. We do things every month together, and I try to document with my camera, and then I make these books. He is also autistic. So I get to view the world through him, which reminds me that a lot of things that we focus on don't even matter.
You're so right.
That just the simple things, like there was a time, this kid is in love with himself. He loves to watch himself move. If there's a mirror or reflection, he's watching himself. And we are so afraid to look in the mirror at ourselves. But he is so confident in who he is because he is unbothered by
That's
everyone
incredible.
else, that he could just, oh, how am I flipping around today? I just like, that's so amazing. And we can
I think we can all learn something from that, to love ourselves. What a
just the way we
gift
are.
that he's such a gift to you to have that reminder. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So the books, I want to be about our adventures, and part of that money will go to him so that he can, that he can always have the care that he deserves.
That's great. So great. Okay. And then for podcasting, for guest appearances, is that something you want to do more of, just getting on stages and okay.
Yes, I love it. And it's so funny because I always tell the story that when I was in school, if I had to talk in front of the class, I either took an F or didn't show up. I did not want anything to do with talking in front of anybody.
Were you afraid? Were you?
I was afraid. I didn't like it. I didn't like people staring at me or listening to what I said, any of it. I mean, that's people's number one fear. But as I began to do when we look back on the things that we did in our life, sometimes we don't know we're actually preparing ourselves for something. And when this was so many years ago, I would do MLMs, right? Tupperware, Party Light. And I had to talk in front of people. You have to tell them about this product, or why would you do it? So So I came up with something I called Tupper Bucks. Okay. And I would talk about this product, and then I didn't want the attention on me anymore. I would say, go, whoever finds the product first gets a Tupper Buck. And whoever had the most Tupper Bucks at the end got this, they could pick from these items that you can't buy from Tupperware that only
Okay.
the
So
consultants were
exclusive.
able to have.
Okay.
And they loved it. So doing little things like that, and then actually emceeing and hosting a mother-daughter tea party for 200 people.
Oh my.
I know. And I made my husband actually stay outside the room. I'm like, you can't come in when I'm talking. But just all those things prepared me to just one day say, I love speaking to people. I love educating people. I love telling them how to be better, how to do better. And so getting on a podcast is nothing. Getting up in front of people is nothing. I love it.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you grew out of that because
Me
you have
too.
been able to provide this incredible podcast with incredible information that is so valuable to so many people. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
this beautiful, incredible milestone, and the best of luck on your way to 200 more.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Dawnette. I am so, so honored to have been part of this 200th episode with you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of you guys out there. So if this podcast brings you any value, please share it. If you want to be a guest, just go to my website, fill out the paper. I'd love to have you as a guest. And until next time, have a great day. This podcast is dedicated to you and all the incredible women out there breaking chains, pushing through, and striving to make it all work. Your support truly means the world to me. Could you do me a favor? Be a gem and leave a review. It will help us reach even more women, making a bigger impact. Your feedback is invaluable, and I would genuinely appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, ensuring you never miss an episode. Until next week, live a purposeful life in both your business and your finances.